We talked about Dyson's non-April Fool's Day thing, but probably our favorite April Fool's Day actual project was Reddit reviving r/place.
Yes.
We talked to Josh Wardle a couple weeks ago, who was sort of on the team responsible for the original version of this, where they basically just have one place on the internet where anyone can place one pixel every 5 minutes.
Correct. Yeah.
And it's this huge canvas. And so inevitably communities get together and they sort of like plan stuff and band together and will like, they would crowdsource art. They would make art
You could say that.
together, which is a bit of a dangerous exercise because, hey, communities will decide whatever they want to do and put it wherever they want.
I mean, Josh specifically said that. He was like, our biggest worry in the original one in 2017 was inappropriate objects.
There's just going to be phallic images everywhere. And apparently that's how it started, but then people sort of like adjusted and started making more wholesome stuff. And
the first time, right?
Yeah.
I think he did say there was some stuff that they were a little worried about at first.
Yeah.
But it happened again this year. They brought it back. We kind of all knew it was coming back, I believe, the day before. And they went on for 4 days, and I followed it very intensely.
So this time we got involved a little bit.
We got very involved. Because I had a stressful weekend, if I'm being honest.
So I guess the funny part is that it was 4 days long.
Yes.
So if you drew something on the first day, there's a very low chance that it would still be there if you didn't come back for 4 days. But on the other hand, if you waited too long, the whole thing would be so crowded with so many different communities looking for spots to build their own art that you would be out of space. So we had to find this like happy medium of like, we do want something there. Do we just go for it on day one? And we did, right? We went straight
I can
from the
kind
top.
of give a little brief overview here. I think I split it into two things in my notes here. I kind of have what happened on our place in general, and then what happened with our community building things on our place.
So what did the overall our place look like?
Okay, so it started off almost exactly how it did in 2017. One canvas, I believe, is 1,000 by 1,000 pixels. So 1 million pixels. It's not very much. And the biggest difference here, if you think about it, is in 2017, it popped up with 0 instructions. No one knew what to do. So the first few hours was just pure chaos.
Yeah.
This time around, this thing goes live and communities are just already banding together. There's Discord servers, there's subreddits. People are creating new subreddits just for the subreddits beforehand to just find ways. We had streamers jumping on and bringing their audience in. There's all sorts of different things. And immediately this thing was filling up with different images.
I think when I first logged in, there was a bunch of country flags, huge flags, which that shouldn't shock me. People are very like attached, and there's lots of huge communities to do that.
People like representation too.
I think there was a huge Ukraine blue and yellow across the entire thing, which was pretty wholesome. I think there was a Star Wars poster.
There is a Star Wars poster in the canvas. There's a couple old memes from the first one, which included in the first one, there was a Windows 98 taskbar at the bottom. This one actually, I guess not off the start, but they made a Windows XP taskbar. There's something called the blue corner in the first one, which was basically just a corner that was completely blue.
Sure.
That started in this one as well.
Sure.
In the top left corner, there was the old school RuneScape disconnected message, which is when you used to play the game. Anytime you had server issues, it would pop up. So they built that into the place.
That's a big community.
Yeah. And like you said, lots and lots of flags. So in this first day, immediately we wanted to build something. So I got on our Discord server. I tweeted out that we wanted to do the Waveform logo. I think we mentioned it in the podcast last week. So we pick a spot. It was right next to a French flag. So it had a red border already. That felt like a really easy thing to reference and draw off
I remember when you guys were picking this and decided, and you can log in and you can see every pixel. You hover over it and you can see
it has a coordinate.
The user.
Oh yeah,
you can see the user that placed that pixel.
Yeah,
and you could zoom out a little bit and you could see exactly the names of the coordinates of every single one. So you'd picked that place because it was a nice little spot that was unoccupied.
To me, it was a space that was unoccupied, and everyone wants to go for corners and sides at first because it's the easiest to coordinate from. So we went to a French flag pixel, which very quickly Adam found out was where the Elden Ring subreddit and Discord community were starting to build, which is massive. I actually think somebody at the end of all this did a breakdown of which communities had the most pixels, and Elden Ring was in the top 20. So we picked a rough opponent to start with.
It was funny because it wasn't there at all when we started.
And then
we started to build our logo there. I think I dropped like 4 pixels. And I had like every 5 minutes, you're like, all right, I got a new pixel. And I drop it in. And then I refreshed once and it was just like gone.
Yep.
Like all of it just got dominated in like 2 minutes.
We had a very, very modest 15 by 15 pixel logo. That was, we were not trying to take a lot of space. I mean, the French flag that we were building next to was probably like 100 pixels tall. I mean, like giant compared to ours.
100 by 100 is, you get...
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the dimensions were, but
it
was taller. They were taller than they were also, but either way. So that was our first step, just to like give a little hint of where our went. We got covered by Elden Ring. We actually talked to someone from Elden Ring, put it directly above theirs to use their border, and then they decided to expand and just wiped us out again completely.
Oh,
so
that's a vibrant community when you overshoot. Because that was the thing, when you do the math and you're like, all right, we want to make a 100 by 100 thing, not too crazy, just 100 by 100.
Yeah,
that's 10,000 pixels you have to actively maintain. That is so many people that need to be online at once, fighting for this spot, and to overshoot and be like, well, we kind of dominated our spot. Like, why don't we just keep going?
Yeah,
that's pretty serious. So good job, Elden Ring subreddit. You definitely took those pixels.
We died.
Yeah,
we died.
So what do we find a new spot?
So yeah, we found a new spot. Actually, funny enough, right over lttstore.com. There happened to be some blank space up there. That's where we nestled in, created our logo. Had no trouble for a little while until a Croatian flag above us started taking over. We defended against them for a while, but it wasn't looking great. Then a Pokemon started getting built next to us. I believe. Let me just. I want to get
like a fever dream.
It is
the most random thing.
It is very, very interesting. Kind of what happens, because there's this like. What's really fun about it is you like create friends with and allies with these other communities, and they're generally communities you've never. I mean, obviously we know LTT stored. None of them attacked us. We never attacked them.
Oh, that's
it's
good.
Fun being next to each other, as far as I know.
It's good, Linus. It's
Thanks.
good. It's good.
Thanks, Linus.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Pokemon next to us was called Swablu.
How does that have a community? So, okay.
It's literally just that. Funnily enough, somebody from that community listened to our podcast last week, recognized that it was us trying to build it, came into our Discord server and created a truce, and we actually wound up sharing a few pixels in between them and wound up defending.
What?
And they had already built an alliance with Croatia. So we all worked into the Croatian flag. So we actually became allies with Croatia, Swablu, and I believe it's an anime called Nerve.
This sentence is unbelievable.
Yeah. So that was our kind of like little place. And what's funny about this is, I'm going to call this, we have a spot on the old world, because after we finished that on Saturday, they decided to double the size of the canvas and add another 1,000 by 1,000 pixels to the right. And then later on that day, they actually doubled that again. So now it's 4 times the original canvas.
So we're on the original 1,000 by 1,000.
Yes, our logo's on the original 1,000 by 1,000.
Okay.
This is kind of like the old world, which is really fun. But after they doubled that and quadrupled it is when a lot of the like pure chaos started happening, and just throughout the weekend was super fun to watch. There's communities all over the place. There was a bunch of French streamers and a bunch of Spanish streamers banding together to build new flags and stuff like that. There's a lot of just one streamer I like was like they would attack different places they didn't like. There was also a group of like kind of trolls called the Dark Void, which would in random places throughout the map, they would pick a community, attack it in this, they would just turn the whole thing black and this like black dissolving void, and then like some sort of demonic face would start coming out of it. And then all of a sudden it would disappear back to what it originally was. It was wild. They made some really, really cool art all over the place. Like you said, Star Wars. A couple of my favorite were like, a lot of the flags were really cool. So originally the French flag, the Irish flag got built underneath it. And at their border where they crossed, France drew a wine bottle. So Ireland responded with a Guinness pint underneath it. Nice. And they both started adding references to their countries, like stemming from the middle of them.
Wow.
A lot of the Nordic countries did stuff like that too. They
I'm
all
trying
kind
to think
of like
if any of these
connected
countries
together.
are Carl Pay's country.
Is that all you're thinking about for the rest of the
It's bouncing around in there in my skull right now. Yeah.
So there's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of taking over. On Saturday, our Discord, without even being prompted, actually wound up finding a space in the second canvas and creating a pixel art of Mac and the Waveform logo, which held true for a really long time, actually, until sometime on Sunday got completely taken over by what felt like some bot accounts. Because one of my biggest complaints here is there's obviously a lot of botting happening, because some things you can be consistent with and have large communities work together, but some are just too obvious. And there was a lot of, when you would click that name under the pixel, it would have like an account made that day. And I saw that probably 50% of the time I would click a pixel, which is one of my bigger gripes about the whole thing.
So we lost Mac and Waveform.
We lost Mac and Waveform, but just like without attempting to gatekeep Reddit and our place, I'm fine with people using alt accounts because that feels like it's part of Reddit, but doing same day accounts in this just felt like such an easy way to game the whole thing, and like a little too...
it's less wholesome.
It's way less wholesome.
You're supposed to just use your own normal account.
Actually, just real quick, I have in the doc, if you click, I have the 2017 version, and we can put this up on the screen, the 2017 version and the 2021 version, and you can just kind of see the difference in scale between them.
2017's got a big flag right in the middle. It's got a Mona Lisa. I see the Linux penguin. A lot of very
We're actually really close to the Linux penguin on the new one.
Of course the Linux penguin is on both. All right, 2021.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that took a while to load. That was huge.
The 2021 one is gigantic. I mean, I think I mentioned some of my favorites. The flags are all really good.
It's less clear who has the largest piece of art right now in this.
So if you look, France has like the bottom left corner, which is crazy.
And then that whole thing is
That's not even what I'm talking about. The one I'm talking about is closer to the left-hand top quarter portion. And it has an Eiffel Tower and the moon and a wine glass. And one thing they did that was really cool is they basically knew time lapses would be created of this. So the wine bottle, they had the liquid go slowly down, and then they built it back up, and the glass would change on the side. And they were like, some people were literally animating some things in here.
This brings me to, this was my favorite part of like, I saw like the chaos and like you guys talking to the Discord for a couple days and then the Slack over the weekend. My favorite thing that came out of this was at the end of it, since it was a 4-day event of people placing these pixels over and over again, is the time lapse that they made of how this thing exploded into existence and then like ebbed and flowed and things appeared and disappeared over time. And that was sick.
Watch that if you get a chance. That's where you can see the dark void that I was talking about. It just kind of shows up all over the place. Another thing I loved, Among Us, while they didn't end with a lot of things, they probably played one of the biggest roles in this whole weekend, because constantly giant Among Us characters would just show up in the middle of nowhere. At one point, the entire left-hand corner was just small, like 4x4 pixels of Among Us characters. And then rather than expanding that, they decided to go into other art pieces and take the colors and go one off of all the colors and make Among Us characters that were hidden inside of the images around it, to the point where I think someone created an AI that scanned for all of them and found like over 2,000 of them littered around the entire canvas, just like small Among Us characters all over the place. It was really, really cool. I'll get back into, because I couldn't handle Mac getting destroyed. So Monday,
there's so many other dogs on here. I'm seeing.
There are a lot of dogs, but on Monday, our Discord had been fighting all day Sunday, and we unfortunately lost that battle. But on Monday, I decided we had to finish this. It was ending on Monday afternoon, so I hopped on our Discord. I fired up my stream, which I haven't done in like 3 years, and our Discord community just went off the rails trying to make this happen. We shrunk Mac a little bit. We finally, I think after 5 tries of fighting people and losing, found a spot that we could defend. It also helped Sam Sheffer came in, saw my stream, and then brought his whole audience in, and we kind of all battled together. And it probably took like 4 hours, but we finally got Mac on the canvas, accurately defended him, and he's there.
It seems like streamers would have the best audience to do something like this, because they're all engaged, they're all plugged in, and they're all here in the same place together at the same time.
They would literally just like pick somewhere and say attack, and then you would watch it on screen just turn black, and then something else pop up. But yeah, this, to me, this is like one of the coolest online social experiment kind of things we've ever witnessed. It was way different this year because everyone knew what to do. So there's far more creativity. I mean, there's like full-blown Renaissance paintings in here.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff. I found a Waldo. Where's Waldo?
Did you really?
There's one near the... I'm not even going to say where it is, but I found Waldo.
You can find it,
Yeah, it's right here.
Lots of sports teams, lots of flags, lots of video game references and anime references. There's a lot of things. Someone created an atlas where you could go in, and now the MKBHD logo and Mac are officially recorded in the atlas for this final one.
Nice.
And then it all ended where towards the last couple hours, you could only place white pixels. So essentially they made it so everyone would just place white pixels until the whole canvas turned back white. And then it was lost into the void.
Wow.
Not before people got screenshots and time lapses of everything. So like we'll definitely put some stuff in the show notes for people to check out time lapses. But as a small, I mean, like we're a big channel, but we're still kind of like small community in comparison to like entire countries, right?
Yeah, Elden Ring.
Or Elden Ring, yeah. But it was really, really fun to have our Discord and our Reddit and other people's Discords like band together. This was all a really cool experience. And like, to me, this is what Discord feels like it's about. Like our community just all came together. No one fought about anything. They just like wondered where pixels had to go, placed pixels, and defended it for 4 days straight, essentially. I have to give one shout out to someone in our Discord named Bangle Game who literally like 20 times over the weekend, he built a spreadsheet with each pixel and then what color it should be and a hyperlink to the pixel on the page. And he constantly updated it every time we had to move pixels. It was crazy.
That's the conductor at the front of the train. Like getting like everybody all aboard. Like this is what we're doing.
He was our mastermind behind it all.
All right, thanks for watching this clip. I just want to finish this off real quick by showing you the new MKBHD water bottle. There's actually two. There's a light mode one.
There's a dark mode one too.
There's a dark mode one. I'm not usually a light mode.
Say it.
I'm not usually.
Say it out loud.
I picked light mode over dark mode this time.
Someone clipped that.
Just this time. Not every time, but just this time.
I want that out of context. It's so bad.
Look, if you go to the site, you can see it's metal, double insulated, got a nice handle. 18 ounce, right? 18
ounces. I mean, not to sound too much like an ad here, but I don't like wide mouth water bottles. We picked a double insulated, really well crafted, nice cap and handle.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time on these.
It could be wide mouth if you want, you just take it off.
Also, we made it clean so you can put stickers on it. Like we want to be able to put stickers on it, unlike someone else we know that just took the whole thing up and was like, you don't get any creativity. So you can put Linus stickers on here if you want. It could be both.
Exactly.
Shouldn't.
It's a design feature. Either way,
feature for sure.
I'm keeping a close eye on which one people pick more,
I think
light
dark
mode or dark
winning
mode.
Right now.
Dark mode is currently winning, but we'll see.
We will see.
MKBHD.com.
They're really great.
Anyway, see y'all over there.
Adam, edit water dripping into my mouth.